Okay, those are helpful. We've touched on then, sort of by regular conversation, some of the services. What do you think about other services so far in the municipality, such as roads, water, pathways, those sorts of things? What are your thoughts on those areas?
So the pathway, the people that I know that use them, because I obviously don't, they're happy with them. They wish they had more, right? And I can understand that. So that's not a bad idea. For the services, I mean, with the roads being done and everything like that, I think the council's been doing a good job at upgrading as they can. Between the two towns, we're going to have, I think it's 26 kilometers road that we're going to have to upkeep. Again, you know, it's an expense, but if we do it right the first time, then we're good to go. The sewer and the whatnot for the utilities that they're expanding for that, it's always a good idea to expand, but again, plan for more than just now, plan for the future. It's like I said with one of my posts on Facebook, right? Everybody's looking at this next 15 months for this council. Well, it also says in the amalgamation package that if there's a lot of decisions that are going to be made when the new council is elected in November, right? Well, some of those things we should be trying to get on par now, but we're going to be handcuffed because we can't. So whoever the new council is coming in, if we do get approval for the amalgamation, is going to have a lot of decisions to make within that first month. You know, some of the things with the amalgamation to increase service is, you know, with the fire department, we're going to be big enough then that we should almost look at having some full-time firefighters. You know, that's going to come at an additional cost, but is it going to improve our service? You know, we also have to look at how those two departments are going to combine. Just because right now Black Diamond is more municipal owned than ours is.
Right.
So we're going to have to look at what's going to happen at that time. And right now it says the decision is going to be made when the new council's in place. So if I'm elected, I look forward to trying to talk to some of those other people that are going to be on that council so that we can, you know, plan ahead now so that it's not going to be such a huge shock in the future.
Right. So again, comes that theme that you seem to represent, which is make sure that you're well planned before you execute.
Definitely.
Right. Along with financial stewardship. With all the activities that you're doing, that seems to be kind of like a theme if you were elected to council.
Yeah, the numbers never lie,
yeah.
Right? And you know, in order to increase the numbers, to increase services, you need more people here. Well, the way you get more people here is you increase the businesses that come in. You know, I'm not going to say I'm the expert on how to bring new businesses in, but we have to have something that's going to be available through them. Part of it's people want affordable housing so that they can have it. Now, I don't know if you've seen the maps in the amalgamation package, but right now the only land that we're able to expand is all around Black Diamond, right? Which is good because that's still going to be part of the Diamond Valley. But if it's too off center, we're going to have people that are just going to Black Diamond instead of coming through the Turn Valley part. You know, we have to look at it as a whole as we're moving forward. Like this election, if I'm elected in, I plan on using that as a stepping stone to be there for the next one, for after the amalgamation. Because that's where I think a lot of my expertise is going to become more useful.
Right.
You know.
Right. So municipal governments are really collaborative in nature. There's no boss particularly, and even in our system in Alberta, the mayor is just one vote among all the councillors. So he just seems to have extra duties to perform.
Yeah.
At some of the sections.
Yeah, Barry has to do extra work. So.
Yeah, that's right. So how are you? What are your attitudes around collaborative, or your experience, your feelings towards collaboration, discussion?
It's a good thing. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't have disagreements and we can't have discussions. You know, that's very important because we want to have the best plan going forward. We want to do things correct the first time 100% of the way. We don't want to just, you know, do it part way. You know, one of the things that I learned growing up, that the times I know that I learned something is when somebody can prove me wrong. You know, it doesn't mean that I was right or that, you know, I'm less intelligent. It just means that they were able to prove me wrong, which means that I have to know that we're moving forward with the best plan. Because I overanalyze and overthink everything so that I know that it's right. You know, so yeah, I look forward to that.
So you looking at the facts, no matter who digs them out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you can make an educated decision. You know.
Right. So. The position comes with some small compensation. What are your thoughts on that?
They're going to pay us to do the job that we're doing. I looked at that, and on an hourly basis, if you use minimum wage, that means that I'd be putting in roughly 67 hours a month in for the town council. You know, I've always had the opinion that if you're getting paid to be in public office, whether it's federal or provincial or anything like that, if you're not there doing your job, then your compensation should be reduced. You know, like every time we had somebody that abstained from an election, whether it be in Ottawa or Edmonton, well, if they're not there to make that vote and they're not representing their constituents, they're not doing their job. So they should be paid less. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it is like what it is. It's not a great amount. You know, I believe it's $1,000 for the counselor, and then we get $70 for home office and stuff. So let's see, $70. So my home office is 13% of my house, and I only know that because I run my business out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to have like an additional $600 worth of expenses to justify that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's people aren't going to make money at doing this. That's not why you do it.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing again that theme. It's numbers,
Exactly.
and accountability
Yeah.
associated with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that if I've had friends of mine that say, let's go get a coffee or let's play a game, I'm going to make sure that's going to happen. You know, if people say they want to do something, I'm going to make sure that they hold to the plans. Like it's all about being transparent and accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't be accountable to your friends, you can't be accountable to your town, you shouldn't be in the job.
Right. Well, that's very good. Is there any other thing that you'd like to bring forward that hasn't come up in this conversation?
Not really. I mean, I just want people to look beyond the amalgamation.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yes, this election is important. Every election is important. But we need people that are going to look beyond this 15 months, 14 months that we're going to have. Like, that's where I want people to know that that's where we've got to be looking at. And unfortunately, like some of the amalgamation package, it says in there, well, it'll be decided afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that I told people is like with the waste management, Black Diamond and Turner Valley have two different rates. Black Diamond's is higher than ours, but we pay for other ones, but our consumption rate is more.
Yeah.
You know, this would have been the best time to try and bring everything on par between the two towns,
Mm-hmm.
so that there's not going to be a surprise to the people that live here if they have to start paying more money.
Right.
You know, as it is, I know people that have complained to me, they're like, well, my property tax went up. It's like, well, the mill rate didn't go up, but the value of your house went up. You know, so it's one of those things, get this education to the people that know there's information out there. You know, it's just how to get it. When I used to be a financial advisor, I used to hold a seminar that was Redneck's Logic to Finance. So you break it down so that people can understand it. That's what people want.
Right. Okay, so to conclude then, I think one of the things that you've mentioned which resonates with me is people who are choosing their candidates should be looking towards the longer term, not just this term. Electing councillors now would give them a good foundation to move into amalgamation where the hard work is going to begin. And that's going to be really rationalizing all the services, rationalizing our paperwork, and and making sure that it's done in a financially sound basis.
Yeah, definitely. It's between the two councils and admin. There's a $200,000 difference, right, between the two towns. Well, we need to know what it's going to be moving forward.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I definitely about the numbers.
Okay. So I'd like to end by encouraging everybody to cast their vote when the opportunity arises. I think there may be an advance poll and then a final poll, as is traditional. And think about what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.